Tina Yazdani joins us now. And Tina, Mark Carney's deal with China is not sitting well with Ontario's premier.
Yeah, it certainly isn't, Cynthia. The premier blasted the Prime Minister today, and he says that this deal does nothing to help Canadian auto workers. In fact, he says it will only hurt them.
It's just a terrible, terrible, miscalculated decision by the Prime Minister.
Ontario's premier blasting the Prime Minister for striking a deal that he says threatens the province's auto sector and the workers who depend on it.
This was not thought out properly. It wasn't consulted. It was a knee-jerk reaction as far as I'm concerned.
But the leader of the opposition argues the premier should have seen this coming and traveled to China to advocate for Ontario's auto workers.
Where was Doug Ford?
The NDP's Marit Stiles points to Saskatchewan's premier, who did make the trip to advocate for his province's canola farmers. The deal will allow 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles to enter the Canadian market at a lower tariff rate in exchange for tariff relief on agricultural products like canola.
The fact that our own premier here in Ontario was not at the table and didn't force his way in, it really makes my blood boil.
But auto workers tell us they are placing the blame squarely on Mark Carney and say the decision will have wide-reaching and devastating impacts.
We have a Prime Minister of Canada that just sold out my entire membership in that plant.
In Oshawa, a genuine fear of how this deal will impact the future of the GM plant and its 3,000 workers.
We think it's just going to take away good-paying auto jobs, and our 3,000 members here at Oshawa General Motors are going to pay the price.
The plant is already losing 400 workers February 1st as GM cuts the midnight shift and moves some production south of the border in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs.
I have 409 members right now figuring out what they're going to do after February 1st, collecting EI. They're scared. They're selling their homes, vehicles, and it's young people, middle-aged people who are afraid.
Those tariffs have already hit the auto sector hard in Ontario. Stellantis and GM have both stopped some production at 2 Ontario plants, putting thousands of jobs in jeopardy. And the concern now is that Chinese vehicles will flood the market, worsening an already dire situation.
We're not going to be able to compete with these Chinese EV imports because it's subsidized by a communist government. And it's unfair for the Prime Minister to put us in this position. It's unfair for him to give up on auto workers like he has.
Now, Tina, when speaking with reporters, Doug Ford made some interesting comments about Chinese vehicles.
Yes, and he said he doesn't trust them. He cited cybersecurity concerns about these vehicles, and he even made a claim that Canadians who buy these cars may not be able to drive to the U.S. Take a listen.
Well, anyone who buys these cars, they won't be allowed to go to the U.S. Cybersecurity. I call it the spy car that they're bringing in. Put it this way, I'll be very honest. I don't trust what the Chinese put in these cars.
Now, of course, none of this has been confirmed or substantiated by any Canadian or American officials. The NDP's Marit Stiles also responded to all this, saying it's complete baloney and just another line to grab headlines.
Okay, Tina, thank you.